Welcome everybody to another edition of TEW 2020 as we're continuing our WCW 2003 save as we're on the road to Halloween Havoc 2003 as we begin tonight with a fun little 6-woman tag match for our dark match to give the women some in-ring time before, just to go ahead and do it. So in a pre-show match that had terrible wrestling and Assassin Crowd Heat, Beth Phoenix, Lynn Cartier, and Jordan Cole defeated Amber O'Neil, Canary Wanders up from our Def Ed and Lexi James in 13:01 once Lynn Cartier pinned Lexi James. Simple match, give them some in-ring time. Cole got a 49, Cartier got a 52, Phoenix got a 43, Lexi James got a 53, Katarina Waters gets a 52, and Amber O'Neil gets a 50. Just a, basically straight up easy peasy win to set things up. This gets a 56 as we move on to the opening of the actual show. So we have basically a segment where basically first the Deadpool come out and they do Deadpool things. Morningstar says, he is the devil's right-hand man and he helps Vampiro rid WCW of the filth and continue the path that his master needs to cleanse WCW and create what it really should be. Vampiro goes in, says, I lead this group of men because they know what is truly true. And, Eddie, do you know what's truly true? After all, you know that your lovely nephew Chavo was basically being an cheating son of a bitch for the past couple months? Do you know that Booker T is so desperate to become world champion again? That, right now he's going after my Morningstar. But sooner or later, if you win the world title, Booker T will be coming after you. That leads the faces to come out. They basically, Booker T says visiting Suckas. Yes, I want to be world champion. Eddie knows that because he's not a damn fool. But first, I'm going to take, just like I won at Fall Brawl, just like I made Morningstar surrender in Marshall Judson, and that was all part of the plan. Booker says, did you just say that? And then Booker B continues, says, at Halloween Havoc, it may be a time for ghouls, but it's going to be a time for Booker T. And he steps in and says, Vampiro, yes, I can watch television, but I know my Chavo needs the guiding hand of his Uncle Eddie, and it's not like we Guerreros don't like to lie, cheat, and steal ourselves a little bit if necessary. So, Vampiro, you're not dealing with a bulldozer for man. You're not dealing with even something like Booker. You're dealing with a scion of a vaunted wrestling family who knows every trick in the book and who needs to be world champion again. So, if you think you're going to be in for an easy fight, Havoc, you got another thing coming. And you got another thing, you got an easy fight tonight, you got that, another thing coming as well. So, let's get to an 87. So, let's see what the new gimmicks look like. So, survey says, okay, so Vampiro now has a cult gimmick of great. So, that's good. And Morningstar's gimmick of his Devil's Apprentice gimmick is great as well. So, yeah, small boost to psychology, large boost to menace. Okay, which is funny considering it's Morningstar or Chris Daniels. But this gets an 87, really good stuff. As we move on to backstage, where basically O'Hare and Storm have a conversation. It's like, he's the future World Championship Wrestling, but, he's willing to help Lance Storm out against, an asshole like Kidman and a big tough son of a bitch like Awesome, who seems just to want to set his own rules. Storm thanks him and says, he's still going to be his own man, but he'll team up with him at Halloween Havoc to treat his former partner a lesson and remind Kidman that he's the best technical wrestler in World Championship Wrestling. Solid promo. This gets a 70 because, Lance Storm talked. And also we're doing a slight gimmick change. So Sean O'Hare's, now has a future track gimmick, which is great, and gives a large boost to charisma. There we go. That's exactly what we needed. And then we move into our opening contest. Oh, wait, no. Okay, so we had a Shane Helms Legacy. So, Shane Helms begins, his promo basically going, your superstar has arrived. Your savior is still here. The greatest WCW United States champion in history is still in the ring, still champion. And after Halloween Havoc, I will still be after I take care of that little pissant Rey Jr. Ignore the fact that, Shane Helms is basically the same size as Rey Jr. Rey, Dustin, and Konnan come out, and we have a fight. Another slight gimmick change. So, oof, ouch. That's unfortunate for Rey Jr. But, stuff happens. Anyway, this gets a 69. Rey is not the most charismatic guy. Shane Helms probably had a bad role, and Rudo and Cash were there. But this gets 69 as we move into our actual opening match, which is in a decent match. Helms & Co. of Helms, Cash, and Reno defeated Rey Jr., Dustin Rhodes, and Konnan in 10-10-50 when Shane Helms pinned Dustin Rhodes after using, it says a foreign object, but basically wallops with a title belt. So back and forth match, Helms is able to toss Rey Jr. out for just long enough. That's a 3-on-2 for Rhodes and Konnan, and, Reno comes in, keeps him out of the ring, and Helms is able to wall Dustin Rhodes with the title belt while the referee is dealing with Rey Jr. on the outside and gets the 1, 2, 3. 82, really good match. Konnan gets a 57. Dustin Rhodes gets a 66. Rey Mysterio Jr. gets an 88 because he has a poor gimmick. He's still Rey Mysterio Jr. Reno gets a 61. Cash gets a 70. And Shane Helms gets a 89. So really good stuff. And then we have a post show which gets a 69. So basically after the match, Helms rolls out of the ring celebrating, but Rey Jr. is ready for him, hits a huge dive. Gigantes comes out and starts brawling with the other baby faces, and everything sort of collapses into some chaos until the referees comes out and break this up. So there you go. And just to make sure, let me see here. Do I have... Okay. I have Booker T versus Morningstar for Havoc. I just want to double check on that. So this gets a 69 as we move forward. As we have a, quick promo in the back where Eric Bischoff is actually in his office for the first time in forever. Where basically, Noble, says that, I've got a whole bunch of people after my title, but I just want to face, a true contender. No messy business. And Bischoff's like, oh, come on, Jamie, you know better. You obviously offered Kaz something, which is why, went after you. And, Hardy did get screwed when your new bodyguard got involved. So at Halloween Havoc, it's going to be a 3-way. It's going to be a triangle match for the Cruiserweight title. So we'll go ahead and add that in. We got Kaz, Jeff Hardy, and Jamie Noble. With the Cruiserweight title on the line. So we'll book that up, and there we go. And it's got a 61 because Noble still isn't over. Everything Sable's there being menacing, but not quite over yet. And Bischoff is Bischoff. Then we go backstage where basically Palumbo's cutting a promo saying, he officially talked to WCW officials, and he is going to get a match with Ric Flair at Halloween Havoc. Because he's upset that the Horsemen are getting involved in the RVD Canyon feud. He's upset that, Ric Flair continues to make comments about his valet, Stacy Keibler, even though she's not around, and so on and so forth. And Ric Flair sort of approaches him, does Ric Flair stuff, reminds him, oldest ride, longest slide, and maybe after I kick your ass at Havoc, when Stacy gets back, I'll have to show her what a real man is like. And Palumbo goes after him, but out of nowhere comes Jarrett and Palumbo did the jump chuck, and it's a 3-on beatdown real quick before, officials come in. So this gets an 82, and just gives Jarrett and Douglas something quick to do, and reminds them, Horsemen are still the Horsemen. So there you go. Then we have an extremely short match. America's Most Wanted defeating Yang and Blitzkrieg in 450 when Chris Harris pinned Blitzkrieg with a catatonic. This gets a 48. Ouch. This is just a quick squash match. And we have some gimmick changes. So Chris Harris' Cocky Castle gimmick gets a very good. And James Storm's Cocky Cowboy gimmick gets a poor. That's unfortunate. But still, just a quick squash one to get the AMW over. They cut a quick promo, saying to basically Judd and London, this is how you do it, and this is how we're going to rise back up the tag ranks and win back our tag team titles. 67, quick promo, basically, puts them over and moves things forward with this sort of feud that's happening between AMW and Judd and London. So as we move forward, on to our next match. No, we go backstage, where basically RVD, runs in, pushes through officials, opens up the Horseman locker room and goes after Canyon, and is like, come on, bro. Me, we're going to fight at Havoc. But you had to get your buddies involved. And Cannon's like, I don't know anything. Come on up. Who? Me? Nobody's better than Cannon. But at Havoc, I'm going to kick your ass just because. So there's a stare down. Officials get in. And here we go. 82. Really good stuff. If it had been a longer angle, probably would have been better. But, obviously you can't do a 6-minute, angle in a locker room. Then we have our quasi-semi-main event, as in about had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. AJ Styles defeated Jack Evans in 13-10 by pinfall of Styles Clash. This gets an 82. So this is just an insane back-and-forth match. High-flying, flips, suplexes, random moves. But in the end, Styles is just a little bit better and hits the Styles Clash and gets the pinfall victory. This gets an 82. AJ gets an 85. Jack Evans gets a 64. And then AJ Styles celebrates afterwards, gets a 72, as the Youngsters put him over, as one of the best tag teams in WCW today, and who knows what will happen with the rest of his career. Foreshadowing. But yeah. So, we go backstage where Eddie and Booker are together, and they're both talking about Vampiro. Eddie's like, Holmes, I don't I don't care about that BS that Vampiro spouting. And Booker says, well, when you win the title, I know I never really got my rematch, Sucka. So as long as you'll be a fighting champion, I eventually get my shot, we got no problems. And they sort of shake hands, and and Eddie's like, cool. Now let's go kick some Deadpool ass. This gets a 78, straightforward promo, and there we go. Then we have an Angel Fox promo, your basic babyface promo saying she's going to win back the title from Gail Kim at Halloween Havoc. She never really lost the title because Gail Kim pinned Lexi James, and Gail Kim got lucky, but she's the future of the women's division, and Gail Kim's just another competitor that she'll prove she'll have to be better than. And that gets a 54 as we move forward. As in a complete squash match, it still gets a 72 because Mesias is awesome. Mesias defeats Scott Taylor in 429 by pinfall, the Sickle of Death. I don't even know what that is. I guess some sort of like Russian sickle type maneuver or something. Jesus, he really killed him if he didn't even kill him with the crucifix powerbomb. So Mesias gets a 91, Scott Taylor gets a 49, so a 72 overall. And then in the post-match scramble, we have, it looks like Mesias is going to kill, Taylor, as Mesias does, but Goldberg comes down, stares him down, they sort of, throw incentives at each other, and this is now officially probably our hottest storyline, as it gets a freaking 99. So yeah, Mesias, Goldberg, people like big badasses about to fight each other. Shocker. And now it's main event time, I believe. Yeah, so the match gets an 85. So probably could have been a little better if, say, I don't even know. Like, if, say, we had people instead of Lestat and Chavo in here. But anyway, Annabelle had great heat, wrestling, good heat. Booker T and Los Guerreros defeat the Deadpool, Lestat, Vampiro, Morningstar in 21-26 when Eddie pinned Lestat with a frog splash. So it gets an 85. Chavo gets a 64. Booker gets an 89. Eddie gets a 91. Morningstar gets an 84. Vampiro gets an 89. Lestat gets a 65. So, back forward, typical six-man match. Everything devolves. At the end, Eddie's able to hit his huge finisher, get a big win over member of the Deadpool, and then to end the show, we just have an absolute brawl as everybody gets involved. Everybody starts fighting. Mesias comes out, helps the Deadpool. Out comes Goldberg, and it's on. So show ends with an 89 as the thing finishes with... Okay, so we get an 87 overall. And Chavo was slightly overused, but yeah, it's Chavo. He's going to get a push. So let's see what WWE did, and then we'll go over a couple things. Alright, first thing I'll show is Saturday night. Well, I'll show Raw, and then I'll show Saturday night, along with any email. So let's see what happens here as this loads. Loading. So, let's check our mail out. So, we got Ron Killings. Okay. He got injured. Oh, right. He's on my short list. That's why I was like, why am I getting an email about him? Ray thinks Jamie Noble is pretty good in the ring. 2.06 rating. So, let's check out what Raw did. So, Raw had, let's see here, Randy Orton and Bumping Ground defeat Matt Hardy and K-Quick by DQ. Molly Holly defeating Ivory. Triple H defeating Blue Boy, Steve Austin defeating Ron Waterman, DDP defeating Raven, Big Show defeating Billy Gunn, and in the event, Shawn Michaels defeating Kevin Nash by DQ. Interesting. This gets a 3 still. So, not their best show. Actually, we did a little better than them, which is interesting. New team in TEW, George. Okay, that's literally somebody I don't care about. Let's see here. Sugiura is. Oh, no. Sugiura, don't go in the cage. That'll go badly for you. Let's see here. And just as a quick thing to check out, we had Saturday night tapings after, I think, the last Nitro, so I just want to go over them real quick. So we had Kid Mr. Jones opening the show, and Ernst is quote-unquote sick. We had Kid Robey and Johnny Springer making their official debut as a team, defeating Lash Road and Scott Taylor. We had Amber O'Neill defeating Sidney Rogers in a squash. We had Mr. Jones with Noble and Ebony Sable. We had Ebony Sable making his in-ring debut, defeating Norman Smiling. And then we had Jonathan Toro defeating Yang. And then last week we had Ernest is still sick, Edith Skipper defeating Evan Courageous. We had Toro rallying the troops for the 6-man later that night. Miss Jones on the phone with somebody. Jordan Cole winning a squash match over Emi Sakura. And then in the main event, Johnny Swinger, Kid Romeo, and Jonathan Toro defeating Yang, Blitzkrieg, and Tajiri. So that basically sets up on the next Saturday night. Toro to rematch for the TV title again. So yeah, let's check out our storylines. So yeah, everything's really building up. We've got Palumbo and Flair at 88. We have Goldberg, Booker, Morningstar, basically the Deadpool feud at 85. The lower card Helms Legacy versus Dustin and Konnan feud at 73. We have Konnan RVD at an 88. We have the Kidman O'Hare Stormer Awesome feud at 75. The tag feud at 78. The Rey Helms feud at 79. Vampiro Eddie at 85. And the women's title at 57. So not bad. And again, one more thing to bring it up. challenge.com/2003mayhem, and you'll be able to put in predictions for the upcoming Mayhem tournament. Go ahead, sign in for the tournament, make your predictions, and of course the winner will get a variety of booking prizes, which includes choosing a title match for future Nitro, making a match for a future pay-per-view, div signings, pushes, and de-pushes. I'll include all the information again with this video, but again, sign up. As long as you get enough entries by time, basically the first Nitro after Halloween Havoc, I'll give out those prizes and everything else. That's it for now. So you enjoyed this, go ahead and give it a like, comment below what you're liking and not liking, and subscribe to the channel for lots of TEW 2020 content, including this, my WCW 1993 with no Eric Bischoff as president, save, and MLW in the Ruthless Aggression era, and of course lots more. That's it for now, so talk to you later, and adios.